Is my name. I've been teaching in Holy Cross International for 12 years. I'm a head of department for English language and literature in English, and I'm equally a PhD postdoc in educational management.
I'm Esther Amba. I've been teaching for 18 years, teaching in Holy Cross for 9 years. This is going to be the 10th year. I am married.
I'm Edmary, nurse, medical department. I'm Stephanie, English department. I've been teaching in Holy Cross for 6 years. This is my 7th year.
Met Mr. Bell, English language department and Dutch English stress, 1st year.
I'm Daniel Joachim. I'm a cook. Okay, I've worked Holy Cross. This is my 10 year. I am Paul Ankambom Joseph, security guard in Holy Cross. I
am Angu Rose Champo, the French department. I have been teaching for 30 years, but in Holy Cross this is my 6th year.
I am Roland Nubia, Cambridge coordinator for Holy Cross. I've been teaching at Holy Cross for 12 years.
I'm Manuela Wanko, Cambridge administrator. I've been at Holy Cross for 5 years. I'm single.
I am Kenyan Cyprian Fomo, Physics and Computer Science Department, Physics A-level examiner. I've been in Holy Cross for 6 years. This is my 7th year. Married.
I am Wakarim Gumsiri for dormitory mistress.
I'm Eben Quinary Sani, dormitory mistress.
I am Folaban. I've been teaching biology for 25 years. I'm a center supervisor for biology, examiner, and superintendent.
I am Gamban Gilbert. I'm Lama, biology department. This is my 3rd year in Holy Cross. Single.
I am Abung Betemwa, biology department. This is my 3rd year in Holy Cross, and I'm married.
I am Kudi Cyprian, human resource manager. 26 years of teaching experience, 25 years as a biology examiner, married with 5 children. This is my 1st year in Holy Cross.
I am Dr. Ndonu Emmanuel, the holder of a PhD in educational psychology. I teach biology and global perspectives in Holy Cross. I also take care of the farm. I am not married. I have been teaching for 16 years and this is my 3rd year in Holy Cross.
I'm Mr. Agbonono Jovens. I've been teaching biology for 10 years, but this is my 1st year in Holy Cross.
I'm Kosho Gidwell Shakanyoi. I'm a teacher of biology and chemistry in Holy Cross, and this is my 1st year.
I am Platonuko Naomi. I've been teaching for 3 years and this is my 1st year in Holy Cross.
Kitio Ennis in the commercial department. Holy Cross, my 2nd year.
Owesugomo Elvis is my name. I've been teaching this to be my 15 years in the field. And I'll be Holy Cross. This will be a year Holy Cross. This examiner for entrepreneurship A-level, 4 years experience. I'm married.
My name is Sivian Mande. I've been teaching in Holy Cross for 5 years, but in the field I've been 10 years teaching. I am an advanced level examiner, business management. I am married. Thank you.
My name is Chukwuili, project manager and teacher in Holy Cross. This is my 4th year.
Okay, I'm Paul and Karen. I'm teaching economics and marketing. This is my 2nd year in Holy Cross.
I am Ate Joy Tetu, teaching economics. I've been teaching economics for 26 years. I'm teaching in Holy Cross for 12 years. This is the 13th year. Dangerously married.
I am Mabo Eric, teacher of economics and commerce. I've been teaching for over 18 years. I've been in Holy Cross for 11 years, and I am married.
I am Blessed Ashwake Egbe, discipline master and religious studies teacher. I am happily single.
I am Ashu Antoine Owo, religious studies and philosophy. I've been teaching for 8 years and this is my 6th year in Holy Cross. Married.
I'm Reverend Father Patrick Tabotiku from the Diocese of Mamfe. 3 years in the preschool. I'm the new chaplain of HCIC.
I am Neonorine Chair. I teach physics and computer science. This is my second year at school.
I am Bennett Moku of Chad. 21 years of teaching computer science. I examiner since 2010. I'm married and have 6 children. My first son graduated from Holy Cross last year.
I am Guillaume Joseph, Geography Department. I've been in Holy Cross for 4 years.
I am Shia Prosper Kumbi, Department of Geography.
I'm Aman Lola, Security Department. I've been in Holy Cross for 5 years and got my O-level this year.
Wow. I'm Adeline Sonny. I'm the staff accountant. At the moment, I'm at the secretary.
I'm called Dumbe Arela. I've been teaching for 2 years and this is my first year in Holy Cross.
I'm Chinai Nations. I am the chemistry teacher. I've been teaching for 16 years and this is my 9th year in Holy Cross. Marriage.
I am Sigwele Shebe, owner of PEDAGOGIC in chemistry. I teach chemistry. I'm married.
Felix Banka. This is my year in Holy Cross. I'm regarding married with 5 children.
Binta Tiago, geographer from the Geography Department. My 4th year in Holy Cross, married.
I am Mabel Shura from the Geography Department, Assistant Dean of Study, and this is my 10th year in Holy Cross, married.
Chiti Franklin, Geography Department. I've been teaching in Holy Cross for 6 years, entering the 7th year. I am married.
I'm the Banchang Rings of the mathematics family.
Just to announce that Nibanchang Reeds was raised last academic year to the rank of chief examiner for further mathematics advanced level.
I am Mr. Atum Roger Famban for the French language department. I am blocked. Thank you. I want to myself history citizenship. I've been teaching Holy Cross for the past 16 years. History 760 examiner since 15 years.
I'm Charles Nunget, the ECA coordinator and chemistry teacher. I've been at Holy Cross since 2010. I left and I came back.
I am from Junior Economics and Business Studies.
I'm Madame Adjoa Ibedu. I'm of the English department. I've been in Holy Cross for 8 years and I'm married.
My name is Peter. I'm the coach, leadership coach. I've been teaching in universities in Africa for 26 years. Cameroon, Sierra Leone, Kenya, South Africa. 8 years in the Holy Cross as the leadership coach from 1 to Upper Sif. Happily married, father of 4 adults. I'm retired, not tired.
My name is Dr. Julia Bangu. I am the wife of the proprietor of this great institution. By profession, I'm a medical doctor, a pediatrician. But I have that quest to learn, to be a student at all times. I've been in charge of clinical pediatrics and helping those students who came for specialization in pediatrics. You see, this office here has been here for 42 years. That's my introduction. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I think we're in such a hurry to finish our program that if I start talking and introducing myself, when I was born, how old I am, how many wives I have, how many children I have, maybe we'll not leave this place. I just want to say I mean, I don't want to say I'm a man, because people know I am a man. I don't want to say I started in school, and these were the objectives, because I think there's a program for it. But when the moment comes, I would talk to you about the vision of the school, what we expect, what were the positives, what were the negatives, and what we look forward to in the following years, because we've been doing this exercise, I think, at least for the last 5 years, if I can remember, that we have still not yet achieved the objectives for which we have been coming here. So, Felix, just tell them I would ask my wife, but she has spoken for so long that if she starts talking about me now, we may not live here. So please, just make a very short summary. I was born in 1949. I went to school, had a scholarship, never repeated a class. I think those were my achievements. And I'm an architect. I've been working for the last 46 years. I'm retired, as Peter said, but not tired. I'm still on my legs. Although it took me 10 minutes to go from the ground floor to this floor, because I have to measure each of my steps so the leg does not break. And that's why I was very angry when I got here and the hall was empty. And I said, what's happening? But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to really know about people, go up to them. They will tell you who they are. And you will learn more, because you'll be one-to-one. So there's no point. And Felix, thank you for introducing me. So we can now start the official program. So once more, you're all welcome, and let's start this program so we can finish quickly. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think I will thank Pa for helping me to introduce him, because I was already afraid that could be another test that I'm going to go through. We all know Mr. Gifford. He is the social media manager for Holy Cross International College, and this is his team. And if you can always visit our website on www.holycrossintercollege.com, which will soon be closed, and only www.holycrossinternationalcollege.cm will be existing. But at the moment, you can still Google these two and you will have the two websites functional. But what we will promote more now is the website Holy Cross International College, the full name .cm, because it's a local website that is being locally hosted. That's why we see CM at the end. You are happy and you know you clap your hand. You are happy and you know you clap your hand. If you are happy and you know, and you really want to show, if you are happy and you know you clap your hand. We should be listening to the proprietor, and I will tell you, the proprietor said in his introduction that this should be the 5th year we are holding this meeting. But I would just wish to remind him that this is the 10th year that we are holding this meeting in this same office. And we know in a meeting like this, we bring in all the workers. We did not say the teachers, but we bring in all the workers. We didn't stop anybody from coming. Because at times we hold administrative meetings with the proprietor, and we come back and we hold general meetings with the staff of the college. But it's not all the time that we come and we tell you that this is what the vision of the proprietor is. This is the only one time in the year that the proprietor will sit with us in a meeting to tell us, and everyone gets it from the proprietor's mouth, what the vision for his school is, so that we don't go behind and we try to twist the vision to fit maybe what we personally think it should be. Yes, we may hold other meetings with him and we come and insist on other things that he thinks we should know. But in this meeting, he tells us his vision, and he equally sets targets for us to achieve during the academic year. We know we always have short-term goals, just like we have long-term goals. But this meeting here is focused on the short-term goals for this academic year. What are our targets for this academic year? So we'll get them very clear from the proprietor. Just to state here, we have people of different arms of the school. We have administrators. Those who are the 11 administrators of Holy Cross International College. Please, if they are here, just stand up. If you are in the administration, stand up. So you know who the administration of the school is. These are members of the administration of Holy Cross International College. I don't need to introduce their functions again because we all know them. So if they say this is an administrative meeting, these are the people we expect to see in the administrative meeting. They are the highest decision-making organs of the school. The proprietor is there like the board chairman, but these are the members of the senior management team of Holy Cross International College. So anything they come to tell you in their different departments, know that there are instructions coming from the proprietor. The head of school is above all the other administrators. The human resource manager is there to manage all the workers, including even the vice principal and all the other members of the administration. Dr. Achidi is there to manage the health of all the workers, which means that if a teacher in Holy Cross should not sit and tell us that I'm sick and could not come, it is Dr. Achidi to tell us that his sickness is in such a way that he cannot stay in school. Which means we will only accept your permission, seek permission if it is approved by Dr. Achidi. We all know Mr. Nubia Roland, who is the Cambridge coordinator, and Madam Manuela, who is the Cambridge administrator. Cambridge coordinator means he's in charge of all the academic aspects of the Cambridge program. Cambridge administration means any other administrative issue, starting from boarding life, discipline of the students, campus life, discipline of the teachers, and any other aspect relating to administration of the Cambridge. Mr. Shiti and Madam Mabel are the two in charge of academics in the national section. One will focus on the high school and another one focuses on the first cycle. But that doesn't mean that they don't work in collaboration. And any spiritual aspect of the school, you address them to the chaplain. Even things that you don't deem it necessary for other members of the administration to hear. I just noticed that the chaplain has a lot of work to do because we now have a staff of about 74 and only 13 people go for Holy Communion. That is informing the chaplain there is a lot. Please, can we sit down? Secondly, we have members who are the teaching staff. Teaching staff means those who go to class. Not all administrators are teachers. Not all workers of Holy Cross are teachers. Please, if you are a teaching staff, you stand, which means you go to class to teach. So these are the teaching staff, and I think at the moment there are 52 teaching staff in FCIC for a student population of approximately 300. If you divide 300 by 52, you will notice that one student is to how many teachers? Or one teacher is to how many students? Sorry. If 1 is to 6. Sit down. We have other auxiliary workers. Some are in the sick bay, some are in the kitchen, some are on campus. Please, if you are an auxiliary staff, could you stand up? So these are the different arms of the staff of HCIC that we have here. Please, you can sit down. So I want us to be very attentive as we listen to the proprietor, because this may be the only opportunity that we may have to listen to him this year. If you are listening to him a second time, it may mean that we are deliberating whether you should still stay in Holy Cross, or we are looking for maybe there's a potential promotion that is coming to you in HCIC. If not, I'm sure that the person we will see in the day-to-day running of the school is the head of school. Please, let's welcome Pa with a hand of applause.
Once more, good morning, everybody. Good morning. I want to thank the school administration for making this ceremony possible. That say what I think, what I want for this academic year. I want to start by thanking the head of school. I'm sure all of you did not hear that, so I'm not saying it again. I see on the cover plate of this document the vision of HCIC. Let me just read it so that all of you are reminded of what it says. the vision of Holy Cross International College is to provide a broad-based Anglo-Saxon Catholic education within the context of love, sound discipline, Christian values, international mindedness, and academic excellence. It's a very good vision of the school, and I'm here to say that if you look at the motto of the school, which is education for life and leadership, those are the things we have been following for so many years. Like they say, it's like love, or it's like education. You can only chase it, but you cannot catch it. That means the day you get to the excellent part of it, maybe you relax and start doing the wrong things. You know, one thing I know is that if anything is permanent, or rather change is always permanent. Change is permanent because that's the one thing which is constant. So for us, for this academic year, what I'm going to say is that I would have loved us that by this time we have developed a brand name for the school. We would have developed a culture. When I say a culture, of truthfulness, of moral rectitude, of academic excellence, especially of discipline. Because I noticed that in school, the problems of discipline is intimately related to problems of brutalities, both from the students and from the teachers. So if we could develop that culture to make sure that we have zero brutality in school, it will help us a lot, because that's something, it's a mirage. We have been chasing it, but we have not really attained it. We have not really gotten it into our hands to say that we cannot sleep with both of our eyes closed. Right now, we have to sleep with one of our eyes open because we are not sure of what is going on and what the students can bring in, what the teachers can bring in, and what can happen overnight when nobody is watching. So I want to use this opportunity to remind all of us who are here that we have a duty to be discipline masters all the time. That is, if a teacher is sleeping, who is looking after him? It's not the students. It's the other teachers who can say this fellow is sleeping in class. But should that happen? No. Because when you are in school, imagine that everybody is judging you from the way you do your hair, from the shoes you are wearing. And by the way, I'm wearing new shoes. Nobody has even seen. But in any case, as I said, let's make the school environment interesting. Father said it, and he will continue to say it. My wife mentioned it. If we love one another, everything will be fine. Because if you love somebody, you cannot do bad things to that person. You cannot stab the person behind his back. You cannot say evil things in his back if you love one another. But if you don't love one another, you feel justified for doing all those type of things, which I would not like to encourage in the school. Because as I said earlier, we want the environment in school to be loving, to be full of love, and it should be shown by the smiles on the faces of the students, of the teachers, of the administration, and all of us visitors, to know that these kids are being well taken of. And because you, the teachers, have shown from your experience that you can make them laugh, you can make them smile, and you can make them succeed in their academic work. This year, when the results were announced, and I heard what failed one student in O-level and another one in A-level, and I asked myself, with all the attention, with all the facilities we give to those students, how can they afford to fail? Where were the teachers? How can people afford to fail one student in a class of less than 20, 30? If the school was a lycée where you have hundreds of students in a class, I can understand that maybe when you are talking like that, the students behind don't even hear what you are saying. But in a school like ours, how can we afford that? Felix mentioned the ratio between teachers and the students. One teacher for every 6 students. Or is it the other way around? Yes, one teacher for 6 students. Not 6 students or 6 teachers for 1 student. So please, let's take this seriously. Let's know that the vision of the school is to make sure that we develop a brand name for the school, which people will be happy to come back to, where students will want to go and come back. In fact, from next year or this year, we should be able to say with all justification that we're expecting 300 students and we'll have 400 students wanting to come in. Then you know that you are doing something positive. But when you're expecting 300 and 200 show up, it means you are doing something wrong. And therefore, what you are doing wrong should be corrected. And to correct those things, as I said, you start by showing a lot of love. My wife has shown a lot of love to these kids, to the parents, to you. I don't want to say, for me, my own case is special because we are together, we have been together for 40-something years.
7.
By now I should have been tired, but I'm not. Because she's really taking care of me, and she shows that she has the love. All of you who are married and those who are not married, you should learn that when you have a companion who is worried about you, who gives you your drugs when you should, gives you your food and the food when you need it, what else can you ask for? What else can you want? So, ladies and gentlemen, teachers, my friends, my vision is very simple. We want success. Success in everything, including the monies we are receiving. All this time, we have only been spending money. She's been running after me. We need money to do the church. We need money to do another football stadium. We need an academy. We need a primary school. All of that are needs, which I think we will do. Even if I don't do it, my children are there. She is still around. She is very strong, as you have seen. She is capable of taking care of, I don't know how many men, but all of you here don't even measure. You don't measure. So I don't want to make this a very long thing, but I want all of you to remember that we have one school, it's not 2. I hear they talk of international section and national. We are one school. The results may be different from the way the children are handled, but I'm sure we can take care of all of those things. And those who are responsible, I want to say one thing. If you are teaching one student and he fails, it means you are a total failure. That's true. Because we should know that in this class, this is the performance of this student, this is the performance of the teacher. So I want to say, I publicly congratulate those who have worked very well in getting those students to pass very well. And to say to those who have not succeeded, if there was a way I can kick you in the ass, as they say, I will do it. Because I'm not happy. I'm not happy that we have a small number of students and we cannot get the results we want. So this should be an opportunity for you to sit up, go through your notes, and if a situation is going to arise, we should know about it and make sure that we take measures to correct it. Like she said, this hall was being used as a holiday class at one time to make sure that those students whom we felt were weak, they could catch up. This place is still there, the school is still there. So this is the last time I will hear that a student fails because we loved her or we did something because and so on. The other thing which we need to do seriously is that my wife and the teachers have been straining after the weak students or the handicapped students, or like I hear, we are an inclusive school, yes, but we have our own regulations and we are not going to take anybody off the streets only because we want to save them. We are not a government institution, we are not a borstal institution, and therefore I would like that in the selection process, we get the students who meet our standards, the standards that you have set. So once more, thank all of you for coming, and I hope that by the end of the day, the experience here will not have ended up with all of you eating fufu corn and jama and whatever, but that you go home and produce good results for us, so that the next year we're coming here, we have other objectives and can do better things for our institution. Thank you very much.
I will call on 5 persons. Mr. Kudi, you will represent the administration. Just stand here. Where is the head of Department for Economics? Please come forward. Mr. Olaba, please forward. Mr. The take back messages from the speech the proprietor just made. And please, each of the persons here who are representing our heads of department is going to give us one take-home message. Please, make sure you know, I'm sure we have like 10 points we can, or even 20 points we can pick from the proprietor's speech. But you are going to give us one take-home message, and please don't repeat what another person has already given. I believe that we all listen to the proprietor.
One thing I pick out is success. Success in every sphere of the school life. Academic success, success in the area of discipline, success in virtually every facet of the school life. And 100%, no child should fail. 100% at all levels.
What I picked from the proprietor's speech is that we shouldn't take students off the street because we are not a booster institute. So we should do our own selection. Children who meet up with our expectations.
When Pa spoke, something struck me because he, at one point, was speaking like a priest. He spoke about love. We know love is the greatest commandment in the Holy Bible, and that we should be able to love the children just as we love our spouses, because when we love, you discover that you bring that love to school, love our colleagues, love the children, and together everyone will achieve more. Thank you.
When the proprietor spoke, I think I can summarize it this way, that we should be consistently consistent in our professional careers so that the best can always come out at any given time T.
When the proprietor spoke, one thing I gathered is that he's a very good comedian. Probably nobody can be bored around him. And I picked out another thing, that the only constant thing is change. We cannot keep doing the same thing all the time. We have to change from what we have already achieved and move to new things all the time.
From the proprietor's speech, I picked one thing, and that is discipline. If we are self-disciplined, then we'll be able to also discipline the students, and at the end of the year, we'll have success. That's what I got from him.
He mentioned zero tolerance to brutality, yes, which was not actually respected to at 100%.
He mentioned that Holy Cross is one school. Holy Cross is one school, which means the same systems put in place, except for the difference of the curriculum.
He also said one of the visions of the school is to create a brand name, a place where people will love to come back to the school.
One of the first things that he said was that he wants a Holy Cross to be a school that people observe truthfulness. That there should be truthfulness, there should be moral rectitude.
He equally did mention that any teacher that will teach one student, for instance, in a class, and the student fails, the teacher is considered a failure, and he will not mind kicking that teacher on the ass.
I'm sure we understand what it means, someone kicking you on the ass. I'm sure when they kick you on the ass, you just go, you are toward the door, you are going out, throw first. Okay.
Yeah, Ba also mentioned that when we do a forecast of the school, might be expecting 500 students the in a particular academic year and then we do not have that, it is indicative of the fact that something is going wrong. And we should be able to find out what that is and correct it. He also mentioned of that.
Please, can we clap for ourselves? I think one thing we should know today is this seminar is not like the other years today, where we had a series of presentations. We came here today only to listen to Pa, and we just decided to spice it by listening to 2 lessons on, or maybe just 1 lesson on conflict management, which will end with something.
I'm going to talk on the leadership aspect of it, and my co-presenter, Mr. Kudi, will come out with one of the things that we will all agree at the end of the day as the value system of HCIC. Because, my dear friends, you can not live without values. We cannot continue to exist without values. And if you look into our society, you will never see these 3 things in the whole of Cameroon. I can tell you people, move around Yaounde. I'm not making any political statement. Move around Europe if you care. Move all Africa. I have traveled extensively in Africa. I've traveled extensively in this world. And the first thing, because of my scholarship, I tried to look at an organization and say, where is this vision? Where is this mission? Where are its values? If those 3 things are absent, it's like in Bafokeng, where I come from, they say if a gizzard is absent in the chicken, there is no chicken. If a gizzard is absent in the chicken, yes. So most of the time, you will see people boasting about running organizations, running institutions, but when you dig further to know more, you see nothing about the vision, the mission, and the values. Then you ask yourself, what is he doing? You know, I'll start by the anecdote because as a trainer in public speaking, we believe in storytelling. I will not call their names because they are no longer alive. But I have some 3 colleagues who went to Carrefour, 4, 5 of them, to eat. At that time, they used to call it the chicken part. They used to have that they call poulet DG. So they ordered 2 poulet DG, which was served later while they were drinking. One of the ladies picked out the 2 gizzards and threw it in her mouth. Ate it, and everybody was saying, what is this attitude about? So it sounded like a joke and people were laughing. They ended up in a serious crisis. The men said they will not eat that food. And they asked her, what is wrong? They said, there's no chicken. There's no chicken. And it caused a lot of quarrels, arguments, until that lady who ate the 2 chicken had to buy 3 chicken. 3 new chicken for them to have their 2 gizzards. So think about it carefully, my dear friends, as we talk this morning. Why are we talking about educational leadership? Why are we not talking about any other thing? Why did I start my presentation by saying we are overmanaged and underled? I can tell you, people, look at Cameroon, look at Africa, look at any society that is overmanaged and underled. It's a dead organization. Same like I talked about the absence of vision, mission, and values in an organization. Even in your personal life, if you have no vision of who you are, you're called a visionless person. Visionless person. And one of the things you meet in organizations, you pick leaders who are visionless. Don't care if rain is pouring through this building and dropping down, the building is collapsing, they are seated there. They say the budget for that was not, it has not been included in the budget that they should fix this roof. And you see a lot of you see a lot of cars, computers. You go to places, you see cars destroyed, and they say no, it's not in the budget for this year. We have to put it for next year. And the car is getting bad. You see the buildings collapsing. So my dear friends, we are going to be, and I'm saying this year, the first college to think ethical in our educational leadership. And I want us to go home today with a takeaway that who am I? So the question everybody talks about every time is, what's a leader? What's leader? And books have been written at all levels about leadership. People talk about leadership. You go in radio, for the last many months, you have been hearing leadership. But I will tell you, Even till this morning, people still don't have a definition of leadership. Nobody has come up with an accurate definition of what leadership is. But I will help you people because I know, as Pa said and Mr. Felix said, we don't have much time because we've got to make this thing snappy. You take away some points, and my friend Kudi will come calculate and we'll move out. The first thing I want you people to see, which is not leadership. Leadership is not a title. Leadership is, please, what is not leadership? Take it from me. It's not a title. It's not your family name. It's not the size. It's not your gender. It's not your riches. It's not your wealth. It's not your education. It's not your charisma. It's not your celebrations. So nobody asks what leadership. If it's not my name, if it's not my wealth, if it's not my education, what is leadership? Second thing I want you to write about leadership, which is not, leadership is not being the most intelligent in the room. You are not a leader because you know it all. That's the first thing. You are not a leader because you know it all. And people answer, then I went to school at the PhD because we see in some societies, when somebody comes out professor of the university, the whole village wants to honor him as a leader. No. Leadership is not a position. It's not a position. So the truth is we have a confusion between authority and leadership today. Somebody is appointed a minister at 1, he becomes a leader at 3. And the whole village runs to him. It's not leadership. It's leadership. It's a myth. All of us say it's a myth. It's like an iceberg. You see the tip, but you ask yourself what's in the body. Leadership is like an iceberg. You see the tip, you ask yourself what's in the body. And one of the finest definitions of leadership that I had from anybody is it's like beauty. It's like beauty. Easy to see, but difficult to describe. Who can describe beauty? Any of you, I challenge you. Anybody who can describe beauty will have a present from me. Who wants to try me? Anybody? And the question goes on and on. Leadership, they say, it's like a merry-go-round dance. For those of you who come from who dance the guitar dance, everybody goes round. So who is a leader in that dance? Nobody. And that confusion continues to grow as we talk. And people ask themselves, why that leadership? But let me soften the situation by helping you understand the difference between a leader and a manager. Because the confusion again we see in our society is that many journalists, especially people of my career, because I'm a retired journalist, we mix up the two. And managers are people who do things right, please. Managers are people who do things right. Leaders are people who do the right things. Managers are people who do things right, but leaders are people who do the right things. And the question someone may ask, who am I? At the end of the day, some of you will have to tell us whether you're a manager or you're a leader. But I want to tell you, my friends, if you go to define leadership, management is the art of using people to achieve organizational objectives. Management is the art of using people to achieve organizational objectives. Leadership, which we're talking about today, especially in the area of education where you are, is the art of influencing people to achieve to achieve organizational objectives. So in educational leadership, we'll say it's the art of influencing people, in this case students, to achieve organizational results. Our proprietor was very clear in his speech. Very clear, and I think one of the most valuable speeches I've heard for a long time. It was short, he kept it short and simple. Two clear points came out of it: success and discipline. And people ask themselves, why then leadership today? Why leadership today and not management? Because I said we have to be overmanaged and under. Why then I should Peter Gutayo sit today in 2024 and be talking about leadership? But you know why? Leadership, management has existed from 2,000 years after Jesus Christ. And people pride themselves and celebrate 35 years as a manager. 40 years, they even wear ashwabi. to celebrate their management, and they say, I've been a general manager for 30 years. What a shame. 30 years a manager. The truth is, management scientifically has been proven as only 3%, not up to 5%. If you look, when they say we are overmanaged and undermanaged, because when you run an institution like Holy Cross and you overmanage it, you get no results. But once you build leaders in Holy Cross and they start working, you will see 2024 today. God has given us what? A task. That we cannot have promised to have 200 students, 500 students, and we have 200. But we have failed in our leadership. And the kind of leadership Paul is talking is management by results, leadership by results at Holy Cross. So what are we going to say is our leadership at Holy Cross? How do we become leaders? My dear friends, how do we become leaders of influence? Because we're going to talk about leaders of influence. The first thing about your being a leader of influence is your character. What is a character? Character is everything. Everything rises and falls on character. Start with your own character personally in this hall. Ask yourself, how is my character? How am I perceived? How am I viewed by my colleagues? How do I interact with people? Who do I talk to? Some people will tell you, I know they talk for that one. I know they go for that place. I know the mix. I hear those things every day. But my dear, your character plays on your attitude. Your attitude plays on your altitude. If you see Mr. Felix talking about somebody will be appointed, somebody will be given something in the course of the year, it's about their character, it's about their attitude that has given them the altitude. I want us to be very systematic. So once you have character, good one, people appreciate you, follow you, you add it with competence, which is what skills do you know as teachers in Holy Cross. Becoming an educational leader also has to do with your skills. How good are you in mathematics? How good are you in religion? How good are you in what you do? Please, very important. So, yeah, leadership, your character plus your competence gives you what you call credibility. Your credibility is very important, my dear. Even in marriage, if the wife does not like the character of the person and the person's ability to put food on the table, that marriage will never take place. The marriage will never take place. So, your character is very important as a husband. Your character, your competence is very good as a husband. So you have credibility at home. So my wife says, that's the path I've chosen for my life. She saw that every day she's happier. Your character gives you, your character plus your competence gives you credibility. Credibility gives you what? Trust. Your credibility gives you trust. My dear friends, the biggest substance in leadership is trust. Pa said it, Ma said it, Mr. Felix has repeated it over and over. I'm sure Father said it also. There's nothing as heavy, as great as trust. Because the trust is what will give you what you call the influence. Your trust will give you the in, and influence will give you the follow. Very easy. So if you are a leader without influence and without followers, you are simply strolling. Also simply strolling. You are simply strolling. There are so many people who call themselves leaders. You see them moving in the streets of Yaounde. You see them in parliament. You see them on television. You hear them on radio. They are simply strolling. For simple reason that character is absent, competence is absent, credibility is absent, trust is absent, and what? Influence. Because if you don't have influence, you cannot, nobody will follow you. It's like a magneto. Influence becomes your magneto. But let me come back to one thing in all that is trust. Trust is huge. Anybody here who has never had trusted somebody at a decision and he cried, put your hand up. Anybody who has never cried because they lost trust or something here, let us be honest. Put your hand up. My hand is down because I have been disappointed many times. I've been a victim of lack of trust. You said that many of you here. And you can see how painful it is to bury your trust in somebody and disappoint you. Same thing in leadership. And what makes that trust in leadership very strong is called the truth. What makes that trust very strong is called the truth. Because to get that trust, you do what we call, you are relentlessly pursuing the truth. Write it down. You are relentlessly pursuing the truth. You are relentlessly pursuing the truth and ceaselessly building on trust. You are relentlessly pursuing the truth and ceaselessly building on trust. My dear friends, if you remember, forget everything here and keep those two words, you are a leader. If you are seen as a teacher in Holy Cross, as an administrator at Holy Cross, acting truthfully, people always behaving in a truthful manner, like the priest will say, then trust is your neighbor. Trust is your neighbor. So you are relentlessly pursuing the truth. You don't say on Monday, let me be truthful. Or Wednesday, I tell some lies, I cheat, then I come back on Thursday, I'm truthful. No. The language for teachers of English, I'm sure our PhD doctor will explain that where it comes from. You are relentlessly pursuing the truth. What does it mean, sir? Doctor? Head of department? Where is he? He's out? Well, yes, please. I'll be the head of English department. Tell us, what does that relentlessly pursuing the truth mean? I want you to break it down. You are relentlessly pursuing the truth. What does that mean? Where is she?
It needs to be resilient.
No, that's too hard again. I thought my word was hard. Bring it down. You are relentlessly pursuing the truth. Please, let's find the truth.
Consistently pursuing. Constantly.
Clap for this gentleman. You are consistently pursuing the truth. And you are ceaselessly building on trust. What does it mean again? Anybody? Ceaselessly building on trust. Every time you pursue the truth, you build on trust. Every time you tell your wife the truth, you increase her trust for you. Is that not simple? My dear friends, those two words are very key in leadership. So when you hear people in leadership talk and say, I'm a leader, do that test on them. Run that people's test and ask him, is he relentlessly pursuing the truth in his attitude when he looks at you? Is he truthful? It's easy to tell. Look at somebody's face and say he's truthful. Am I lying? Women especially can tell when we the men are lying. Women can tell when we are lying, but they say, I just take them. I just should me so. So please. Yes. But let me come back to this because I'm serious about those two words. You are relentlessly pursuing the truth and you are ceaselessly building your trust. And then you're getting what we call influence. And people are following you every day. Look at every pastor has mentioned the word truth here. Mr. Felix, but me, everybody here. Because that word is powerful. So once you are a leader and people are following you, you can set the vision. You can do what? Set the vision. And another thing which I liked here today, which comforted me, was the fact that Holy Cross, of too many schools I have gone through, don't have a vision. Let's read the Holy Cross vision again. Let me show you why vision is very powerful. Can somebody read it for me, please? Mr. Felix, the Holy Cross vision.
The vision of Holy Cross International College is to provide a broad-based Anglo-Saxon Catholic education within the context of love, sound discipline, Christian values, international mindedness, and academic excellence.
We'll come back to you. Tell me, we could have written something much better than that. You see, vision is very clear. It's got to be bold, it's got to be compelling. When a child who reads that thing by the side of the road says, that is cool, I want to go. My dear friends, why vision is important? Because it's the picture of the future. It's a dream that is time. Vision is important because it's a picture of the future. And it's a dream that is time bound. Who would not want to go to a school where love is part of the game? Who would not want to go to a school where it's broadly, it has a broader view? What? Really? A broad base. Who would not want to go to a school where you mix with other people? Who would not want to go to a school that has love? Who doesn't like love in this whole hands up? Who doesn't like love, please? And not only love, love comes with compassion. I like Francophones, you know why? Because they have a way of, when they love something, who say what say? Love is huge, my dear friends. Let me come back to that. So when you read the vision of Holy Cross, it's supposed to be in your heart by teachers, by friends. All of us here, including me, Peter, which I am, we are supposed to read this every morning, every afternoon, every evening, before even the national anthem. Because that vision is where everybody knows we are heading to. So this vision should be one of the recommendations that we must say it every day. Don't put it in a drawer and lock it up. Because this last I heard this vision was last year. During the teachers meeting. You know, it was supposed to put a big board at the entrance of Guava, the Carrefour, Holy Cross International, and put only that vision there. And children go passing around. People come to town and looking for, I want to go to that school and hear there's love. And then what to that school and grow up this place. That is what leadership is for. The difference between leadership and management is that leadership has vision. Somebody will be in management for 25 years, it becomes like what I said, a robot. Managers act as robots because they act on what they have been told. The leaders have a vision. The second is a mission. Where are you going to? We now know that Holy Cross has a mission. It's going to what? Creating education for and my dear friends, I want to tell you, for those of you who don't know, you should clap for whoever thought that way. Clap for that person. I don't know who said that. Life and leader. My dear friends, let me tell you something. The value system, the missions, and then the vision, the mission, and the values, which my friend Mr. Cody will talk about. If these three things, you know them, and you want to go to Holy Cross every day, proud that you are going to an institution which is full of that. I teach in 14 universities in Cameroon. For those of you who don't know me, I teach at ERIC, I teach at the Faculty of Medicine, I teach at the School of Public Works, I teach at lots of schools in Yaounde too, but I will never miss a Thursday to go and sit in that school they call Holy Cross, because I feel it that I'm talking to the people of tomorrow. I'm transforming people, you know, because when I go to the universities, I don't feel the same impact that I get from those kids. Because when you are creating leaders, you start from that level, you go home every day celebrating. And the proprietor said we should find time to celebrate. One of my ways I celebrate is that. So my dear friends, if you talk of leadership, we've defined how to become a leader, we've defined what leadership is, we've talked about what leaders do. So let me tell you, my dear friends, as educational leaders, it's not about the role, it's about the goal. All of you say it. My dear friends, whether you are the principal, you are the proprietor, you are whoever in Holy Cross, when you enter that campus, it's not about your role, it's about the goal. And the proprietor was very clear on that in his speech. Success. It's about success of our children. When Mr. Kudi will talk about values, I'm sure he's going to come back again that the valuable leader, ethical leader, is about success. If success is not served on the table, then don't sit on it. If success is not served on the table, don't sit on. If success is not served on the table, don't sit on it. So my dear friends, we all have to be paranoid. There's a medical doctor who explained to us what paranoid is. But you have to be paranoid when you enter that campus because you are searching for success. You become Chief Success Officer in Holy Cross. Your name becomes CSO. So when we go to Holy Cross, we are not teachers, we are not parents, we are not cooks, we are all Chief Success Officers. We are CSO. What was it? CSO. CSO. That's the new name of anybody who gets into Holy Cross. I am number one. My new name will not become Teguta, will become the CSO of Holy Cross. Chief Success Officer. Chief Success Officer. And every one of you should start looking at yourself as a Chief Success Officer. If you carry that name, you must practice it. So my dear friends, leaders create other leaders. One of the things, once you are a leader, you should look towards creating is other leaders. The first thing, somebody said, put smile on people's faces. Yeah, Mama said it. You're a leader, your first work is to put smile on other people's faces. And that smile is when you create other leaders. My greatest joy, I write CVs. I worked with the UN for 20 years. As I said earlier, nobody knew. But I am happy to tell all of you that I've sent close to 50 people in the UN. They're making big monies. One went yesterday to Haiti. Because I prepared their CVs, I train, I coach them, and they go. And when they go, they are happy, but I'm happier. Because your joy as a leader is to create other leaders. Your joy as a leader is to create other leaders. Yes. You are not a leader because you are the most intelligent person in the house. You are a leader to lead. You are not a fountain of knowledge. You are not a leader because you are the fountain of knowledge. You are a leader to lead. Full stop. And your job is having a candle, having a kettle on your right hand, having manure, pouring manure, water, pouring manure, and that's the work of the chief SO, chief success officer. You are creating children, and you are seeing success. But success is not a what? Destination. Success is not a destination. It's what? Journey. Success is a what? Journey. And my dear friends, that journey is, you don't walk on it alone. It's you walk as a team. So team is the very thing I want to talk about. When leaders have that vision, they look for a team to work with. So please, I know, whenever the GC results come out and they are sharing the money, they don't give my own. But I've never complained. I've never, for 10 years, I've never complained because they don't give my own because they consider me that I didn't teach mathematics, I didn't teach history, I didn't teach chemistry. But I'm happy because, as I said, I've fulfilled my training. So, please, CSOs, Chief Success Officers, you work as a team. And team means aligning all of you to the goal. And it's not about, I said it's not about the role, it's about the goal. So, you work as a team. Team means together everyone achieves more. Everyone achieves more. Please, the era where you say if you want to go fast, if you want to go fast, if you want to go far, it's no mistake. It's very important in Holy Cross and starting this year that every one of us is the brother's keeper. Every one of us should be. And please, that is this results that came out this year. You don't know how happy I was. But please, it's a teamwork. It's a teamwork. I'll tell you people that the pay of a leader is called respect. Also respect. Respect. Once I was coming out from, I was strolling around Titi Garage and I saw a car stop and a student left the car very fast, come and embrace me. I said, who are you? You taught me in Holy Cross. And in Mokoloba, they said, it's respect. And they didn't give me money, but respect. So your only reward you get from being a leader at Holy Cross is what? Respect. And when you have respect, you are called a pinnacle leader. Once you have that respect, you become a pinnacle leader. So my dear friends, Madam Auntie said something. Auntie, because she's first of my mother, my best friend. So forgive us when I call her Auntie. But she said something here. That the thing that makes people outstanding as leaders is what they call emotional intelligence. My dear friends, that is in you. You don't need to wake it, you don't need to wake it up. Start thinking about your emotional intelligence. And in emotional intelligence is how you relate your emotions to another person's emotions. How does a Bafuchu man that I am relate to a Bangwa man? How do I relate to a Bameleke? Think about it. The first thing, my dear friends, is called self-awareness. In leadership, know your strength, know your weakness, know your weaknesses. Please, if you don't drink wine, don't drink wine. If you don't drink whiskey, don't drink. Know your strength, know your weaknesses. Understand yourself. If you do that, you will not take a job that you cannot do. That's why, if you name me the minister, if you make appoint me the minister of finance, I will reject that profession, that position. I'm not good at finance. If you make some people take it, and then they fumble and they get disgraced. I will only take what I can do. One of my uncles, may his soul rest in peace, John Nibangu, took us sometimes to Chinese restaurant. It was my first time going to Chinese restaurant. And of all his children, he knew his children had been going to Chinese restaurant, so I had never been to one. But he turned around, whispered in my ear, take only what I take. I was going to Chinese restaurant for the first time. I knew I was going to kill myself. I had other restaurant that they eat dogs, they eat frogs. He knew he had gotten this boy from the university with his kids. They were all going to Chinese restaurant here. And he saw a pity on my face. I was down, I was dragging. He came to me and sat behind me and said, the Bible should take only water. So my dear friends, self-awareness is not a crime. No, it's not a crime. The second thing about emotional intelligence is regulate yourself. Teachers, leadership is not command control. Once you're a leader, you're gardez-vous. Repos. It doesn't exist in the classroom. Don't transform a classroom into a battleground, into a military hub. So have what we call self-regulation. Otherwise, you would have diabetes. We say we have Dr. Ngu in the hospital. He will advise people that calm down, relax. If you shout all the time, because some teachers here feel that everybody is wrong. And when the student comes to class, they transform that child into a nail because they have the hammer. You cannot transform people's children into nails because you have hammer. No way. Develop some sense of emotions. The third thing is empathy. Myself, teachers, and I love that there's a lot of empathy in Holy Club because it's a social club always animated by. So who's the social prefect this year? Dr. Achi. Dr. Achi, I'm not playing my dues because I love that aspect of social. When I talk about empathy, it means that be your brother's keeper. In Holy Cross, we should learn to be our brother's keeper. We should know ourselves. We should know the names of every teacher. Don't call that man number one. Don't call that number two. Call him by their name. It's sweet. Don't call anybody by figures. I trained some people in the ministry last week and everybody was calling the figures. I told them, stop that thing here. A1, D2, T4. I said, what is this? Call them by their names. People love their names. If you call somebody by their name, they love you too. My dear friends, let's move on. The fourth thing is motivation. Motivation is huge. My dear friends, it's not money. Once you motivate people, they double and multiply their results they give to you. As educational leaders, if you're going to attain that big goal, the vision, motivate people. One of the motivations I'll show you, and I'm starting with Yakuri for the first time. High five. Take it, give it to everybody. Everybody give everybody a high five. Let's see why it works. It's not, I want to see high five. Give high five to your neighbor. High five. High five.
Oh, you are sharing things this time.
Nobody's giving the school money a high five. Is anything wrong? High five. Once we make high five a policy in our leadership, where we all at the end of the day say, let's take a high five, the students are going to get the 100%. Power becomes a happy person. And that motivation comes in terms of currency. Because we got the 100% results per what I passes, I'm putting some money into the school. Please, high five is very important. How long, when last did you have a high five? When last did you give a high five to somebody?
I can't remember.
When last did you give a high five? When you see? And it costs nothing. It costs nothing, my dear friend. So, let's come back to this. One of the things I want to encourage you people as leaders is listen. Listening. Great leaders listen. 70%. You practice what they call the 70, 20, 10. All of you write it down.
I'm taking all my training.
I'm not. No, but the teacher is always a goal. You've got to put listening big time in your work, my dear friends, because it helps you. It helps you. So, let me recount some of the things I've just said so that Mr. Kudi can pick from me and continue in the value system. Value systems are good. There's what we call in leadership differentiation. And we get to make Holy Cross a school of differentiation. We've got to make Holy Cross a school of differentiation. We cannot be Ashwabis. We cannot have everybody in Holy Cross be acting like the same. I want us to say this and look at me in the eyes and create another kind of school that we are. We say we are making Holy Cross a blue ocean school. What is a blue ocean school? Blue ocean. That's the new name of Holy Cross. School, a blue ocean school. And I'll explain what it means. When you talk of blue ocean leadership, you're making a school, a kind of school that we make competition obsolete. We make competition obsolete. So we should not be comparing Holy Cross with any other school in the future. We should be comparing Holy Cross with itself by making Holy Cross a blue ocean school. So my dear friends, whether you like it or not, we've talked about being an example in the way you do and being the first person. But the other thing I want to tell you about, which will be that leaders are not born. Leaders are not born. They become. They emerge. Titles are conferred. Leadership is earned. Titles are what? Conferred. Leadership is earned. So please, let us end the leadership in Holy Cross and let's start with this now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tayo. I will just cue in from there with this question, or with this guidance. Sorry. Every profession has its code of conduct. Teaching as a profession has its code. And today we're going to look at those core values of a teacher. It's true some of us have been into teaching for so many years. I've heard of 26 years, I've heard of 24, 5, 1. We want to highlight those principles, those practices that make someone who get into this profession a genuine teacher. And we want to highlight this so that from 2024, 2025, we are going to incarnate these values, we're going to put them into practice, and this becomes our culture. This becomes our identity. This is what is going to make us professionals, teachers in the true sense of the word. We are going to divide these values into 6 domains. One of those values, those core principles of a teacher is integrity. Can we all say integrity? Integrity. 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 All through the ages, the place or the position of a teacher in every society is a man of integrity. In a Cambridge school like ours, we should be able to accept ourselves in the class, in the society, as people of integrity, creating and maintaining appropriate professional relations and the teacher, between the teacher and the teacher, or the teacher and the administration. We should all present ourselves like people of integrity, acting with impartiality and truthfulness. Teachers are honest people. I don't want to recount the situation when a teacher is asked to give a report of an event in school. We expect that this report should be based on truthfulness, because it is on the basis of this truthfulness that appropriate background is going to make a good mosaic, a good, the dynamics will be much more interesting. So we are talking about valuing diversity and treating students equitably and with care and compassion while respecting the uniqueness of family backgrounds. Okay, Mr. Cushion, let's read the next one.
Valuing the effort and potential and acknowledging the uniqueness of each student.
Each student has a contribution to make in class dynamics. And it even ties with what I will tie it with the leadership that Mr. Tayon presented a few minutes ago. One things I know about leadership, we have to inspire the children too with that principle. To me, a leader is one who discovers the creative potential of each and every member of their team and make productive use of it. So in as much as we are trying to be leaders as teachers, we should also inspire this leadership in the children. Okay, we'll move to the next values which teachers should incarnate is that of responsibility. Can we all say responsibility?
Responsibility.
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 Demonstrated, not preached. Practiced. How can a teacher demonstrate responsibility? Even in the classroom, the way you manage your class will tell you clearly whether you are responsible or irresponsible. Even in your dressing, the way you appear tells the world whether you are responsible or irresponsible. I think this draws my mind to the dressing code. It's a mark of responsibility. You will not appear, you will not want to guide or lead children towards being responsible people, and then you appear shabbily in front of them. They are taking note of your inconsistencies. A teacher should be responsible. Demonstrated, practice. Okay, we just have to go. Giving priority, giving priority to the education and welfare of the students in our care, engaging in ongoing professional development and improving teaching and learning strategies. Professional development. We should strive to grow. I'm happy during the workshop we asked all the teachers to get to the platform. OSS. Online support for schools, online support for schools. It's a mark of responsibility. Growth, development, personal growth, development is a mark of responsibility. Because when you grow, you acquire more skills, more competencies, and then you can have a greater impact in your community, in school, in your classroom, in the quality of the results you're going to make. Not stagnation, not being in one spot eternally. Growth is a mark of responsibility. Working collaboratively and cooperatively with colleagues in the best interest of education and welfare of the students. Collaboration has to do with teamwork. It's a mark of a leader. To be able to harness the creative potentials of every member in the team and make productive use of it. Teamwork is essential for any genuine and consistent success. Teamwork. The guards in school have an important role to play in the security of all the students, all the teachers, all life and property. This takes me to the termite community, where you have the king, the queen, the drones, the workers, and the different cast members. Each cast member does the best. It's actually adapted, you know. It's adapted to carry out its function, and it does it so well for the collective interest of the community. So the guard is so adapted and so committed, so dedicated to its work, not for its self-aggrandizement, but for the security of the entire community. Teachers in class, they teach and teach so well that they produce those excellent results for the collective glory of the institution. The cooks, they prepare so well that the entire community of students are well nourished for the welfare of the school. Each person doing his best, not for himself, but for the collective good. And it needs collaboration. Friction shouldn't be. It shouldn't be friction. The goal, the vision of the proprietor, academic excellence, good discipline, discipline masters, they work ceaselessly to ensure that there is discipline on campus. Collaboration, teamwork. Okay, we move to the next. Any discussion that maybe comes up in the staff room, because education is an area that is dynamic. We are operating an inclusive educational system. There may be a debate in the staff room over inclusive and exclusive education. Since our culture is for inclusive, we should look for enough evidence to follow what we practice. In every discussion, in our reflections, we should always support the ideals and the ideas that make us who we are. We shouldn't run contrary to our own practices. That is what I'm saying. Today we are in Cambridge School. We should have enough reason at all times in our discussions in and out of school why our school at this time in history should be a Cambridge School, because those are the values in education that we see that can help Cameroon, can help children of this generation. That is why we are for it. People will be debating over the value of national schools as against international schools, but for us, we see that international schools will make the difference, will take us out of this quagmire, will take the generation of learners to a different level, and will create the leaders that we need in this country and the world as a whole. By that holistic formation, that global mindedness that we want to give in our students, we should speak out on those things in our reflections. If we can incarnate these values, if we can put them into practice, if we can make these ethics our own, if we can appropriate the college and call it our own, if we can look consistently at the vision and our mission in Holy Cross International, then 2024-2025 will be a year with a difference. Thank you.
Please, can we give him his scholar?
No corporal punishment. It has not worked. And when you ask somebody's child, like 2 years ago, you ask somebody's child to kneel down, and that child kneeled down and said, did the teacher not ask you to kneel down? You kneel down to in the dormitory and ask the child to kneel down and walk. If you saw the complications on that child's nails, after, even you as a parent, you will be sad. Because the things you do to show those children is corporal punishment. It's what they also do in the dormitory here, and that whole cycle continues. So please, I stand here. I am annoyed. I have never beaten a child, and yet all the things that I do to these children, they will tell me the truth. They will see me and hug me, and I succeed in the discipline. Why don't you people succeed? Even in disciplinary councils, if I'm not there, it doesn't even work. Because, like we were talking here, you need to listen. You need those leadership skills. You cannot be a leader. You are having children, and you are punishing other people's children and beating them. It doesn't help. Please, don't talk about it. Once you cross that gate, you just wind your brain. As a good leader, you know where you are. I mean, Holy Cross, awareness. So here, this is what you want. I don't want to hear. I get very jittery when I hear this. And it is you who go out there and say, who can you touch those children? They don't even want us to touch. And you hear now, that parent, the other one was saying that they don't touch. And that's why the children are heading. Whereas you need to take time to explain why corporal punishment is not good, and why we've adopted this method of the Cambridge system, child protection, which is the best way of managing these learners. It is a difficult method, but it is doable, and when you do it, you succeed. I have done it. When you show those children love, I'm telling you, and when you change and you are hard, they know it. So this is danger. People have not done that. You lack those skills, and we'll be talking about it, because you people don't look at this man like a great man. From the time he came back from the United States, I spoke with him. I said, wow, this is man. And I sat in his class every day. I wrote, and I got all the documents, and I learned it, and I know how to manage even those places and how to manage all of you here. Because when you see my approach in managing your conflicts, you will understand that this woman has something. It is knowledge. It can only be acquired when you want to learn, when you have that quest to learn, know new things. That to block yourself with old ideas and think that you are a leader. No, you are not a leader, you are a manager.
If you are a teacher that every day you go to your class and you tell students go and see the discipline master, you are a very weak teacher. That you should know. If you are one that cannot put your class in order without the discipline master, then you should not have a place in the school. If you, the teacher, you give an assignment to students and you don't feel in the kind of text that you have given the assignment to students, you have contributed in making the students to not to do their assignment. We like using the word punishment, but in Holy Cross we use corrective measures. We have corrective measures, and it's one of those days where we had unproductive punishment. If corrective measures are unproductive, that's when they are called punishment. We all know what different types of punishment that we went through. Let me ask, according to the Minister of Secondary Education, should students be beaten? No. It's very clear. I think her circular was being shared to all schools. If you are in class and a student is coming late to your class, what are you supposed to do?
If I'm in class and a student comes late, the first thing is that I will try to find out why the student is coming late. It could be the student was in the office. It could be the student was attending to some other thing. It could be a teacher held back the student in another class.
Okay. Before I begin a class, I would have first noted whether there's anybody absent in the class. I personally, I would not want to ask the child at the time my lesson is going on, what kept you from coming late from the class, because sometimes, personally, when I reach the orgasm of my lesson, I don't want to be disturbed. I will not want any interference. So I will carefully... Okay, so I will carefully, as I'm teaching him, the child comes late, I will simply make body language and then I just show him where or she has to sit. Then the lesson continues, goes on without any interference. Then at the end of the lesson, I will personally counsel the child on the need to come early for classes. And you can even use scientific measures why you need to come late, and then by citing an example in the body. If the heart were to pump blood late to the liver, then what will be the consequences? So it's a kind of science of biomimicry which can be implemented, and learning goes on alongside with the counseling, and I think much better.
The importance of listening to a child. There are some teachers that have that notion that children should not even be listened to. There are some teachers that have a bad notion that you stand outside and you hear noise in the block and you say this noise must be in here. Even without seeing and being, I'm just giving an example. Even without seeing and being sure that it is actually Ikea who made the noise. This one thing we should all learn is, and the third thing goes to administrators. Taking a child out of class for any reason is suspension. If an administrator sits in the office and sends a written note that this child should leave the class and come to the office, it is viewed as suspension. If the discipline master during a class calls the child to come to the discipline office, know that that discipline master on his own has decided to suspend that child from that class, which is not allowed. As administrators or holders of any office in the school, you have to do everything possible to avoid students from being suspended from class. There are intervals that you know you can invite the students to the office. One thing that as administrators we already know in the school is, at no point will a parent come to the school and we will call the child out of class to come and attend to the parent. They know that it is a case that is a do or die issue. If the head of school sits in her office and sends a note, bring this student to me, Note that the head of school must have consulted the different administrators and we deem it necessary to suspend that child from class. If not, the head of school will send a note. Make sure immediately after lunch, this child reports to the office, not even before lunch. Because suspending the child from lunch is even worse than suspending the child from classes. When you suspend the child from his meal, be ready to give that child a substitute meal.
And I followed up all his training. I copied notes like a student. I have books and books like this on leadership and all the different aspects. Why do I like to make money? Because I like to help people too. But all I know is I master my medical profession because I have not just done medicine in class, but I have also done alternative medicine, which I can help people and help you to tell you eat like this, eat like this, eat like this. I know exactly what food supplement will help you for this, and in doing that, I resolve a lot of problems. And people think I'm a magician. I'm not a magician. Those things come up when you have a brain where you say, I want to learn, I want to do more to help humanity, I want to even make more money to help humanity. So, this disagreement can be between students. I've had lots of cases which we're talking about. Students, in the dormitories, in the classrooms, in the refectory. It can be with students, teachers. It can be with students and the teachers, administration, and even administration with the board of directors, with the proprietor. It can happen. So, it can also be between the staff, auxiliary staff, at the gate, amongst them, auxiliary staff, with the students, with the teachers, with the parents who don't want to comply with certain things. And in the kitchen, it can be amongst themselves, those who want to cook and eat everything, and the students don't have any food. Those who are saying that I am the chief cook, and they don't want others to talk. It can be with those auxiliary students and with the teachers. Yes, another value. Another causes
differences in goals.
Differences in goals. Even when Mr. Felix stands here to say that this is what the proprietor wants as a goal, how many of you come through that gate and have your own goals, which is not the goal of the proprietor? How many? Because you still think you are in the other school. Another point, put those differences because it's very, very important. Yes?
Hate speech.
Hate speech.
Hate speech. Gossiping.
Gossiping. Number one. I've never seen a place where teachers gossip like that. It is very sad. They gossip to the parents. They want small favors from the parents. Let me tell you, if the parent gives you 5,000, so what? So what? Why would you make friendship so intense with parents in such an extent that a parent can even withdraw a child if you are no longer there? Is that possible? Are you working with Holy Cross? Any other point? So those are the different causes which I hope you are having.
Disparity in ethical values and virtues.
Values. Differences in values. Differences in values. Mr. Ngu gave his core values for Holy Cross, which we should all follow up. If not, there will be conflict, even between you and me, because I love that. Continue.
Differences in status.
Differences in status. I think we've already spoken about that one.
Power imbalance.
Power imbalance. and another one, even you bring power, because I will give an example as we continue and we try, which I had an experience with that, and what I did, I will show you. Okay, so those are the things. Then, let's look at the triggers. What will trigger? What are the triggers of conflicts? Because number one on the list is bullying. Is bullying. True or false? True. And in Holy Cross is bullying. When teachers, like Mr. Rin said, do not do the homework, and you bully. I say, what? I'll give you this punishment. Or you use the wrong words. Bullying from teacher to teacher, where I even heard the teacher slap and beat another one. And I was like, huh? In Holy Cross? Because I'm just there and I'm solving the conflict. So, yes. So, where did the teacher have that audacity to beat another one? So I'm bringing it. But all these things that we are listening and we are talking through this seminar and this talk is for us to learn and change. It is not, I'm not even having a memory card to bring them back because we are moving forward. But I'm using some of them as an example so that you people understand how conflicts generate. Understanding the sources of the conflict is so crucial. You know, you must determine the strong negative emotions, stereotypes, miscommunication, which will help you to help that conflict go through. And this is where I come now to the leadership skills. You see, when you do leadership and study a lot of these things, there is no way you can go wrong. When you do leadership courses and you master it and you understand it, all of these things, I'm telling you, it will not be a problem. Because even by just knowing your leadership classes and understanding the values of leadership, it builds self-esteem. It builds self-esteem in you. You are already talking like somebody who is a leader. And when that self-esteem is in you, whether you have more salary or less salary, it will not even matter because you understand the principles of leadership. And I, as the head of school, will like that. All of us, as workers in the HCIC community, become what you call emotional leaders. Emotional intelligence is so crucial, it's huge in leadership. These are people, because like he described, managing your emotions with others is huge. If you can imagine your emotion with others, you've already gone a long way. And this emotional intelligence can change the students, it can change the teachers, it can change the auxiliary workers, and it can change the whole staff. Mr. Peter was talking about it, and I was like, why is he getting into this? But and you still, and when you repeat it, you even get more. When I went into leadership, the part I wanted to master was not just the levels of leadership. Because yes, even the levels of leadership will help you. I did a lot of work on this emotional intelligence because you are able to manage your own inner feelings with others in the whole community. Maybe you might not have understood because I want to ask each one of you. Is there anybody here that I will meet and say I'm the wife of the head of this? Would I not smile with you? Hello, how are you? Will I not talk with you? Do I look at myself as if I'm a big woman? Do I not greet you? Because if I don't greet you, know that you are hiding from me, not seeing you. I will always greet you, but I will always smile. And I will always ask if further discussions are going, how did you feel? Are you okay? Are you alright? Truth and trust. Because if you speak the truth, I will trust you. I say, yeah. I will trust you and I will believe in you. But a lot of you, even the teachers, they tell a lot of lies. They tell a lot of lies, which is not a good thing. So those are social skills you must be able to. And then good communication. I said, you must be able to communicate. That is very, very lacking in the Holy Cross community. Eh? A child does not do homework. And yet, me, head of school, I've never heard. Where was the communication? I've never heard. Was there communication? No communication. You keep things to yourself. You don't get to the right people. Whereas, if it got up to me, I know I would have done something. And I know all of them will change. Because I have done those skills which needs me and helps me to change those children. It's not everybody who can do it, but slowly and steadily, if you do leadership, you will understand. Then customer services. How many people have been so rude to parents? A parent company is rude. It's insulting everybody. No, you shouldn't. You just calm the parents down, and then you call the parents and talk to the parent and listen to her problems. You listen to problems because good listening skills is part of leadership. Where I will come to listening, because most people don't listen; they just conclude. Team building, we spoke about it. Together, everyone achieves more. If you don't work in a team, it will be difficult, even solving those crucial things that may lead up to conflicts. A leader must have a good negotiating skill. If you don't have those good negotiating skills, it's difficult. It's not because you cannot do it, but it's because you've not learned, followed seminars, and tried to listen to what you should do for a good negotiation. But once you do it, you can do it. And if you don't have good negotiation skills, there's no way you can bring peace. Because life is all about negotiation. So, as a leader, there is what you call a 70-20-10 approach. And that's what I'm giving you here now. Because you will understand how I've been managing some of these problems. And a good leader listens, doesn't talk. 70% of the time, listens. But how do you listen? You just listen like that. I listen with compassion. I listen. I take my time. I listen with compassion. I look at your body signs. I look at your eyes. I even sit there and you don't even know what I'm thinking because I'm listening and absorbing and thinking about the process. You must listen with compassion. How many of you do that? You just go to the class, you didn't do your homework, you don't even listen. You must listen with compassion to understand what the real problem is. Maybe those students were rebelling on something that might have even happened in the dormitory. Or by Mr. Felix, who stopped by and said, this is what will happen. It is very important, but listen compassionately. You listen 70% of the time, you ask questions. Questions relating to the problem. You don't just ask stupid questions. While you are looking at them, you know what to ask. in 20% of the time, and then you take action 10% of the time. So that is what they call the 70-20-10 approach. And a win-win approach is what any mediator should aim at, because the end result is bringing peace and love. And in an environment like that where we need that peace and love. The second one is the win-lose approach. It's not good, even with students. Imagine that a senior student made another one to kneel in the dormitory, or with the person, or same with Mr. Shitty. And Mr. Shitty brought them there, and in front first of the student, I tell Mr. Shitty, you did not do well. Why did you beat the children? It shouldn't be in front of the children. It should be a one-to-one with Mr. Shitty that I should be explaining. Because if you do it that way, see the student. And he gives the papa. You see what I did? There's a lot of boys who do that. So you don't even want a win-lose approach on that campus. I got a reaction from Mr. Kudi, who is not happy that people first did not come on time, and people try to talk on the aspect of not signing the register, something like that. The question, I sat down and I took both of them and I listened to them. And I knew there was a problem because I was observing body signs and listening compassionately. So what did I draw from that? I said, wow, I failed. Because after the appointment, I should have sat down, communicated with the two of them, and give each person the roles and what the job description and what I want each one of them to do. You must be discipline master. You must be able to correct them in the classroom without any problem. But you must also do work in a team. And if we all do all of this, Holy Cross will become a heaven for each one of us.
One last remark which we are making is, we are all here as workers of Holy Cross International College, and the head of school insisted that it is one school. No one has been recruited here to work in the national section or to work in the international section, but we are all recruited to work in Holy Cross International College, which means that there are some structural adjustments we are doing at the level of some departments. There are some teachers that will be leaving the national section, whether they are part-time or full-time, to go and intervene in the international section and vice versa, but we are all under one structure, which is Holy Cross. Is that very clear? Yes. Then the second thing is, heads of departments will be appointed for all subjects who understand the subject so well. And no teacher will go to class to teach without the heads of the department endorsing his lesson notes. The next 20 minutes, you introduce the lesson for the day. The next 10 minutes, you use it to see if the students have actually grasped the lesson for today. And the last 5 minutes, you do an exercise on the lesson. You can't just go to class from the first minute to the last minute and you are teaching and you are sure that the students understood the lesson. In the junior classes, if we notice that you are fast, if we notice that you finish your work and you tell us that no, the program has already been finished in the junior, we will think that your teaching is having a problem. In as much as Cambridge have their standard syllabuses for all subjects, I'm sure in Cameroon, in the school, we have schemes of work for all the subjects taught in the national section for all classes. Which means that week 1, we know this is what you are supposed to be teaching. Week 2, this is it. Are you supposed to go to class and you invent your own order in the scheme of work? No, you use the standard scheme of work that has been provided. The control this year will be very rigorous, just because we want to make sure that we obtain our target of 100%. We want to tell the proprietor here that as a team that we sit here, we are not going to fail him again this year. We are not saying that we were a failure this year, but we are just happy that we were able to give you very good results. Maybe the one student who failed at those levels is something that we did not really see it coming, but this year, you have instructed that we should not admit any case in Form 5 and upper seats that we think we cannot manage. Which means all the cases that are there, we think that we can manage.
The whole session has been taken very seriously. That's the first thing. And we've taken a lot of resolutions and things. But I want to add that from my experience, 3 things. The first is the controls that he talked about, but mostly how to effect that control and make it practical. Because like the country, Cameroon, we have very good laws. But most of those good laws is so difficult to apply, sometimes they are not even applied. So we have to make that difference, that if you are taking a decision, that decision must be followed up with practical solutions and practical methods for which you can make an evaluation. Because it's not good telling us we are very happy that there will be controls and then in the field those controls don't exist. So follow up is very important. Very, in everything, in every activity we do. If you don't follow up, you'll never get the results you want. So that's one recommendation. The second recommendation I would like to make is that, you see, unfortunately in the past, we have not been able to empower the students themselves to be able to be ruling themselves. They don't need a teacher to stand behind them to take notes. They don't need a teacher to tell them to stop making noise. They themselves, we can give them that power to be able to control their classmates, to be able to control what is happening in the dormitory, because all these areas is unfortunately that in their minds they've come to the conclusion that anything they do, nobody is going to punish them because we say there's no brutality and so on. But underneath, there's a lot of things not going right. And therefore we must look for ways on how the classrooms can be quiet even when there's no teacher. How the students can be organized in the dormitories even when there's no teacher, because my guess is that right now they've come to the conclusion that anything they do, Mama Julia will just overrule and things will be normal. So let's look at alternatives as to how they can be managed, how they can be administered at their own level. We had a lot of prefects, but those or ministers or whatever they call them, but they have not been very effective as far as I'm concerned, because if you say somebody is in charge of the dormitory, that person should have the authority to be able to effect a certain number of changes. First, it must be somebody whom they will respect. So one of the common things to do is to look for the most noisiest person to make in charge of the classroom or the dormitory. You look for the bullies themselves to ensure that nobody else bullies, because once somebody can bully them, they come down. So those things are things which I think, plus all these academic improvements that you're making, it also improve the atmosphere in the dormitories, in the dining sections, in the classrooms, and everywhere else. And of course, on the campus, so that your work will be lighter, it will not be too heavy. If you come to a classroom and everybody is noisy and so on, I don't know how you can teach. As I said, the ball is now in your hands. We made a lot of good resolutions, but the most effective is how these resolutions are carried out in the field, so that we can see the results within the first month or the first week if you want, because that's when the groundwork is put. You know, when a student goes to a school, all their planning is that I'm just waiting to go to Form 2 so I can do the same thing to the new students who are coming. So it may be necessary before the school really starts, if it is possible, to give them an induction and tell them what this school is, what the objective is, how they should behave and so on, so that they cannot say they are ignorant of the rules and so on. Maybe Felix, you may look at how when they come on Sunday, by 7 o'clock, you start, educating them as to how to behave. So that the new students also know that they have limits. They cannot come and start challenging some senior students because we have a freedom access and things like that. So those three things, if it were to be done well, I think it will improve the atmosphere and make the school a place where in the following years it will be easy. Once you master those first years, the other things will be easier to handle. So I want to thank all of you for coming, and I hope that the seminars have been fruitful and that you have learned something. If you do want me to sign a note that you assisted in my seminar, I'm very willing, and you can use it in your CVs. Okay, thank you, and we hope that the program from here is very clear, and we'll go home being very satisfied. Thank you.
So I will call on the ladies who will assist us in getting from the...
Our help is in the name of the Lord. Almighty and everlasting Father, we thank you for the successful programs that we have followed, most especially for the program of today. Lord, we cannot do anything by our own selves. All what we have discussed, all what we have planned for, Lord, it will be fruitless without your guidance and direction. We put all of them into your mighty hands, that may you inspire us, most especially the proprietor and the head of school and the entire staff, and also the students and the parents. We pray that the academic year 2024-2025 may be a year that we shall give continuous testimony both for the students and the staff. Lord, we pray that let your abundant blessings be on all those who are putting their energy to make sure that the children should have the best. We pray for the food that we're about to share, that may He give us the energy that we need so that we shall continue to draw ourselves closer to you. Bless us, O Lord, and bless these gifts which are about to receive from your goodness through Christ our Lord. Amen. The Lord be with you. And with your spirit. May Almighty God bless you, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Let us praise the Lord.
Thanks be to God.